Bogans Breakdown.
Bam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 4, Quattro of Bogans Breakdown. And do we have a big episode today? We're combining two games. We're just going to get right into it. Game 4 and Game 5. We're going to pack it into one episode here because we have a very packed Game 5 that we're going to get into.
Yeah. I bet we do.
You know, we're back here today. Keith Bogans, 14-year NBA veteran. NBA Finals, we're all wrapped up here. And without giving away the ending yet, I mean, I'm kind of giving it away by the colors I'm wearing right now, but
we'll get to that later, man. We'll get to it. We definitely gonna get to it, but we got a lot to talk about, so let's get to it.
So just to recap, going back to the first 3 episodes, you know, at the end of Game 3, we were both saying, man, Boston was looking very dominant. That was when Luka had fouled out with the last 4 minutes in the game, and just, you know, Dallas was looking pretty rough, right?
Right. I was disappointed in Luka in the end of that game.
Yeah, you were very upset. Not as bad as some of the commentators on
No, I just felt
television.
like,
you were easy on him.
Him being the best, probably the best offensive player on the floor and taking that foul to foul out. I mean, if I was his teammate, I probably would have snatched him out of the way and took that foul if it was me. But, you know, the ending of that game, I felt like he needed to be on the floor for those last 4 minutes. And him not being there, it really hurt the Mavs. But bounce back to Game 4. I mean, those guys come out and they play Dallas Maverick basketball. I mean, they're up and down the floor. I mean, it's dunks everywhere. What, they up 20, 30. They pull away.
Yeah, now, one of the things you'd mentioned at the end of Game 3 is Boston had held them below 100 points in each of the games up to that point.
Right.
98, 99, I think, but they couldn't crack that 100. Then they just exploded 122 points in Game 4.
122 points. If you can hold a team like Dallas, which Boston did, under 100 points, you're probably going to win. And that's what they did in every win, especially in Game 1, 2, and 3. They played great team defense. They held Luka and Kyrie. I mean, they're going to get their points. They're superstar players, but they stopped the other guys from helping them out. And they showed what happens when you play great team defense and you hold a team like Dallas under 100 points.
They were holding them until that game, and they actually played pretty good defense on Boston as well, not really allowing them to get into a groove at all. Tatum and Brown, not the same in Game 4.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one thing that stood out to me in Game 4 was they played Dallas Western Conference basketball. You know, Boston slows it down. You know, they run their offense. Dallas want to get up and down the floor and run, and that's what they did in Game 4. A bunch of dunks, bunch of lobs. Kyrie and Luka were out in transition, and that's how I think. You know, and they were making shots. So that's how I think they ultimately anybody who makes shots at a rate like they did in Game 4, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat them. And they did not hold them under 100 points that game.
No. Boston, on the other hand, only scored 84 points. So what do you say about Dallas' defense there?
Well, Dallas really not known for defense in my book, but I think the Celtics in Game 4, which I thought they would probably did what they did in Game 3 and probably not played. People got mad at them and said they didn't play well in Game 4, but I think they played so well in those first 3 games. They were, you know, like me and you talked about. I'll take this game and I'd rather go home and win as opposed to, you know, winning on the road. And it was going to be hard to sweep them because I think Dallas came out and they were. I've been in a position playing where you're down like that and you have nothing to lose. So I knew they would come out and at least win one game.
Why not us?
Hey, why not us?
Nobody's ever done it.
That's the famous quote. I mean, nobody's ever done it, and to me, I don't think nobody's ever going to do it, to be honest with you.
Well, from the Boston perspective, I don't know any Boston fans that wanted them to lose that Game 4. Every single Boston fan that I knew, they wanted them to put it to bed, sweep Game 4, even if it was on the road.
Well, I've had the luxury of playing in Boston and know what it's like, and they want to win every game. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, well, because then the anxiety had to hold over, right?
Yeah.
So then now, because remember, I told you last time, you know, the only other time in sports, it's happened a bunch of times in the NHL where teams in 7-game series have come back from a 0-3 deficit. It's only happened one time in baseball, never in the NBA. And, you know, the one time it happened in baseball, it was Boston coming back against the New York Yankees. So for Boston fans, when they lost that Game 4, and now you got to wait 3 days as a fan, right? You can only imagine the players, right? But the fans, I'm seeing all over social media, right? They're like, can't let them get they got the momentum now. We got to stop. We got to, you know, there's a little nervousness once that Game 4 happened because they've seen it happen. That's the only thing.
Well, Boston was playing so well in the series. I don't think they. I mean, it put probably a little bit of pressure, but to me, I just thought it was a game that, I mean, they could have took that game. It didn't hurt them. I mean, they're up 3-1. They lose that game. What does it matter?
Yeah, it's better to lose that game than I'd rather lose Game 4 than Game 3, because especially if you're up 2-0.
Absolutely.
You know, if you lose Game 3, now it's 2-1. It's a real series, and
well, to me, it played into your hands. It played into Boston's hands, right the way you drew it up. I mean, you said lose Game 4, go back Game 5 in Boston, and that's exactly.
You know when I said Celtics. You know the first time I saw Celtics in 5. First time I said it.
I remember you were saying. He said.
Well,
Celtics.
I said it. I'll find it on Twitter. So I'll find the tweet or something. But I said it the day I saw the final schedule.
Celtics in 5.
The day I saw the final schedule and I saw that there would be a Game 5 on June 17th.
Right.
I said they're going to win on that day right there. I called it.
You called it.
We'll get into that. But going back to Game 4, though, do you think part of it could have been maybe Boston letting up on the gas a little bit? Like, if there's a game you do want to lose, that's probably it.
Well, people don't understand how hard it is in the playoffs. I mean, it's a strain on your body. I mean, it's a lot of watching film. It's a lot. I mean, so people be like, why would you take a game off? I mean, it's almost like a strategy. I mean, the other teams, it's like being down by a big amount and the team fights all the way back and then you can't get back in it. That's kind of what having a series lead is. The team has to fight so hard to get back after being down 3 games. That's, like you said, it's almost impossible. So to lose a game, it's almost like Boston took a rest game. They set the starters. They let them rest up. And this is a strategy that I've seen done just not in the finals throughout my NBA career. You're up. You got a nice cushion for a lead, so you'll be down in the series. So you'll take your starters, and the trainer will say, let those guys, let them get their legs back. So that time that the other players are out there playing, your starters are getting their legs back, getting fresh. So I think that helped Boston. They were down, 20, 30 points. They set the starters, let those guys rest up, and came back in Game 5 and finished them off. I mean, you were there to see them. I mean, you saw them finish them off. I mean, it looked like they were well rested. They played with a lot of pop. I got to give Boston a lot of credit. I mean, they played with a lot of pop. They were out there moving 100 miles an hour. I mean, you can tell they wanted that game. I'll give them a lot of credit, Drew. I'll give you and your team a lot of credit, boss.
Well, we'll get to Game 5 here. So, you know, one of the players that didn't really get talked about too much this series was Tim Hardaway Jr. So I know you think very highly of him. What were your thoughts on his play during this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like he played as much as I thought he should. But you never know. I mean, maybe the rotations, he wasn't in the rotation, or I don't know. But I mean, he had a big game, one big game. I mean, I feel like he's an offensive threat, but he just didn't get the minutes or the opportunities. You have to get those minutes, you know, to get out on the floor to produce. And if you're not getting minutes, it's almost impossible in the NBA.
Yeah. Now, for some historical context, Game 5, it's crazy to think about this considering how good historically the Boston team has been this year and in the playoffs this year too, right? You know, the loss in Game 4 was their first loss in over a month, I think. They had more playoff wins than 2 teams had in the entire season this year. Boston had in the playoffs alone. But this Game 4, it was one of the biggest blowouts in NBA Finals history. 122-84, 38-point lead that they closed it out with. Kind of a weird little toss in there.
No, I don't think it's weird at all, because if you think about, my theory that I told you, a series doesn't start until the home team loses. So Boston goes into Dallas and wins game 3, right? So if I'm Boston, game 4 is pretty much a toss-up. I mean, that's the game where I can let my guys rest. We weren't supposed to come in here and steal a game. We stole a game on the road. So we knew Dallas was going to come give us everything we had. So why not rest my guys? I mean, it makes so much sense. And I think that's exactly what happened, because nobody expected Dallas to lose game 3. Even Boston probably didn't even expect Dallas or them to come out. So when they lost that game, it gives you the option. If they come out, they're going to give you the best shot, because like Jason Kidd said, they don't want to go on vacation.
Right.
So those guys came out, gave the best shot, and Boston knew that. They took the best shot. Okay, we can't beat them tonight. We'll go home, and we'll come back, and we'll beat them. We
just need one more.
That's it. And that's what they did. They handled business. I mean, textbook style. To play in the NBA and see how that panned out, I mean, that's almost like it's a model. If you get up on a team like that, you can afford. And it's going to be hard to sweep any team in the finals. It's almost impossible.
Well, and it's almost like it was written in the stars. It's almost like this was destiny on so many different levels. So going into this game 5, I had made the prediction long ago, yes, Celtics in 5, right?
Yeah, yes,
and I gave my reasoning on the last podcast. A lot of that was because of the date of the last NBA championship out of Boston, which was June 17th, 2008, when Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen won it.
Right.
And I told the story that was my 21st birthday. I was out there on Causeway, world's greatest bar, and I was looking at some old 08 footage before that. And once that game 4 loss happened, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think I want to go to Boston for game 5.
Right.
And I booked a flight. I was like, you know what? I just want to get out there, be in the city, and try to, just be near it.
Right.
If it happens, because I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen.
I remember you told me, I think I'm going to go to Boston. I said, I think you should go.
Boston,
I think you should go. Yeah.
Then I'm talking to one of my buddies, and he's like, well, did you get tickets? And I'm like, I was not thinking about getting tickets or going. It was one of the most expensive tickets in Boston sports history.
Right.
And I saw ticket prices, put things into comparison as far as other things I've spent more money on in life, and I said,
let's get this ticket.
Let's get this ticket, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to say you were there for a world championship. Now, I've been to 13 WrestleManias, multiple 13 WWE WrestleManias, right? Multiple other events. I've seen some of the craziest things to ever happen in WWE.
Hold on, I don't mean to cut you off, but didn't you go and it was your birthday?
Yeah, so this was my birthday.
Oh man,
16 years prior, Celtics won on my 21st birthday. Wow. First night I'm able to go have a little drinky, right?
Lucky motherfucker.
Yeah, well, so yeah,
lucky motherfucker.
So we get there. So I get to Boston. I get my tickets. I'm a nervous wreck all day, because now my biggest fear is spending all this money coming all the way out here to lose. Like that was my real biggest fear. That's why I was.
Hold on. So you mean you had butterflies?
I had butterflies.
Like you about to play. But
1,000%. I felt like, yes, I could only imagine how they felt.
This man is a true fan, y'all. He got butterflies flying to the game. Like,
just being there, just
waiting,
there. Just waiting for the game.
That's a special feeling.
I know I wasn't the only one.
That's a special feeling.
And so we're waiting. There's a buzz amongst the city. I'm in town. They've got these massive Celtic flags everywhere at the seaport, and there's just a quiet confidence throughout the city.
So I remember you asked me this on last episode. Give me what it's like from a fan's perspective, getting to Boston, going to the finals. Like, just give it to me step by step.
Well, so for one,
a true Boston fan. It's coming from the Boston fan from day one. It's just give me that true feeling.
So it was an atmosphere unlike anything I've ever seen before, right? I mean, let's just talk about walking up to the arena, So you walking up to the arena, and you just have, like, they have this entrance that wasn't always there. They've built this in the last couple years, but like when I was a kid going and seeing wrestling events at Celtics, they didn't have, they had this little side entrance that you'd go in by the train station. It was down like a little alley, and that was the main entrance where everybody would come in. Now they have this grand entrance where you walk up this, like a stairwell, right? So, and that leads you into the arena, and the whole stairway, all the way up the stairs outside the arena, they had green and white balloon. It was just a festive party atmosphere, unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. It was like VIP, red carpet, like it was like a thank you from the team, from the owners, from the city, for the fans that were going to the game, right? It was
a real experience.
Just unlike any other sporting. Like, I've been to a million sporting events, all types, different playoff games, never a finals or World Series type of deal, right? So that was the first for that. But there was just it felt like a red carpet experience. And then on top of it, so to set the stage, right, everybody's wearing green. You don't see one Dallas Mavericks fan. I did not see one.
Not one.
Not one. When I got into the arena, I thought I saw a bunch of them because I saw some blue shirts down by the court.
Probably couldn't even get any tickets.
No, it was security. The security was wearing blue shirts.
They probably couldn't even get any tickets.
There weren't. Yeah, there was not a Mav fan.
It was team tickets, and that was it. And probably the team gave out tickets.
Nobody. I mean, who would want to go see that if you're a Mavs fan, right? But especially the most expensive ticket in the history of Boston.
Right.
So, but getting in there, I was just so impressed. You got to your seat, and they gave you a shirt.
Oh yeah, it's actual finals
they
gear
give you the
from the
finals shirt, and it says whatever it takes. I think they were changing this out, right? And this was the Game 5 shirt.
Nice.
And so you had one of these waiting. Funny story. Obviously, I got hammered. I didn't think I left the game with this shirt.
Where'd you find it at?
My backpack. My brother asked me this morning. He goes, "Did you take the shirt?" I said, "Shit, no, I must have
stuffed it in there. You just stuffed it in the backpack.
I don't know how I got back to the hotel with it.
You was wasted. You just stuffed it in the backpack and went to the airport.
Not as wasted as my 21st, but it was up there. So, but anyway, so in the game itself, it just, again, the shirts that they had. I think about like a grand opening in retail, right? Like they had extra people that worked at the arena just greeting you, right? Like just
y'all knew it was over. Y'all knew it was over. The atmosphere was set.
Atmosphere was set, and what I was hoping for was a redo of Game 6 from 2008, where they just ran away with it, and then it was really like the last half was just a party. Right.
I mean, that's kind of how it was.
That's actually exactly how it was, right? Yeah. So then when you get into the game, whether it was, as an example, just the pregame ceremony, right? You remember Porzingis was questionable. They weren't sure if he was going to play or not, right? So then, and I remember people texting me because, I'm a big WWE fan. They're like, Porzingis is going to make a WWE-style entrance in the game tonight. And I'm like, well, let's see.
He did.
Sure enough, he does. Runs up, plays go. I've never heard an arena this loud before. Like, never in my life for anything. Again, 13 WrestleManias, multiple Monday Night Raws, SmackDown, all of these. Packed arenas all across the world.
This is big for him to be talking about bigger than wrestling.
I would trade, I'm telling this right now, I would trade all 13 WrestleManias for this one Game 5
big.
of the Boston Celtics.
That's big.
Hands down, easily. And we haven't even talked about the game yet, right? Spoiler alert, the Celtics win. So, the vibe is just off the charts. You're just, you look up, you see all the banners that are hanging up there.
Yeah.
And all I could think about sitting there was thinking that this has only happened 17 times in history up to this point.
Right.
So there's only, 17 times people were in these buildings when this was able to happen, right? This was about to be time number 18. Like, it's history that you get to witness. Like, it's you don't get to see home clinching.
I got here when you're in the arena, you text me, what do you think about this game? That's kind of what I knew you knew it was over, because I just text you back, over. That's all I put. It was over.
Yeah.
Over.
Well, how about that halftime shot by Pritchard?
He's done it twice.
He did it twice. I mean, that was the most
it,
insane shot I've ever seen live.
You could have said it was luck if he did it once, but he did it twice.
He did it twice.
I'm not even going to say that's luck. And he's a professional, so I give Pritchard his credit, man. Good shot.
And
good shot.
Not just that, Dallas had some sort of momentum at that point, right?
Killed him.
Totally killed it. Just totally. I remember, like, I looked down and then back up, and we added 10 to the lead.
It's two things that take out a team, a momentum. A big three like that at the half, and like an electrifying dunk. And he did it at home in front of that crowd right before they go into half. I mean, that took them into the locker room, just on an emotional high, and they came out in that third quarter and finished it. Yeah,
they absolutely just. Killed it. Now, when you look at the individual performances, Tatum, 45 minutes in the game. He got taken out to a nice applause at the end there. 31 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds for Jason Tatum.
That's the most for any duo before winning a title. What's it mean to you now to finally get it done and to get it done together?
The world.
Some could have made the argument he could have been the Finals MVP, but that went to Jaylen Brown.
It goes to Jaylen Brown.
In that game, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Toss up. Who would you have gone with, Brown or Tatum for MVP? Not to put you in that situation, choosing between the two. But
I like those two. To me, I feel like they could have split it. But
my partner in crime, Jason Tatum, he was with me the whole way.
It didn't work, Jason Kidd. All the Dallas. First of all, you're a superstar, so no one knew you had any anxiety.
I have a whole nother. The unsung hero to me was Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean.
From UCLA, number 4, Drew Holiday.
He doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but to take nothing away from Jaylen and Jason, but him being the vet to those young guys, I think he doesn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure he helped those guys in stretches that we don't even know about. I mean, to have a guy like Drew Holiday come in and lead that team from a veteran standpoint, I think he's my MVP that doesn't get a lot of credit. But if you're talking about putting the ball in the basket and the highlights, I mean, Jason and Jaylen, I mean, it's the balance beam is equal. I thought Tatum would have got it at the end. I mean,
especially with the last game.
It could have went either way. I mean, both of those guys are elite scorers. I call them 3-tier scorers. They can score at 3 different levels. I mean, it's hard to stop them when you got 2 of those guys like that, and they alternate. I mean, back when I played, you would have 1 or 2 guys, but maybe 2, but to have 2 guys that good on the same team, I mean, it's amazing, and they work well together.
And it looks like now they're talking about re-signing Tatum max contract.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, 100%. Now you're going to have both those guys locked up for years.
I don't care if you got to throw the kitchen sink in there. I mean, you lock those 2 guys up.
I'm sure they're probably going to take advantage of his bird rights.
We talked about it. Absolutely. I mean, you don't let those guys. I mean, they won the championship. I mean, they're both max players, and they work well together. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Isn't it incredible? 107 games together in the playoffs that those guys have played together.
I love these guys. I fucking love these guys.
And they play well together.
They play very well. They're going to go down as one of the great Celtics teams in the whole legacy of it.
I like how, I joke a lot. Me and you were the main Boston fan throughout this series. But, I mean, I got love for Boston. I didn't play there that long, but just the fans and the city. I mean, the time that I was there, just to see how that, the fans and stuff embrace the game and the players there. I mean, they're going to embrace those two guys for a long time because, I mean, they're clean-cut guys. They play hard. They get bashed. They don't complain. I mean, being on a good team and playing in Boston, you got to deal with the media. And I think those guys
handle it very well. Tatum and Brown.
They handle it amazing to me. I mean, because they always got a mic in their face. They got to watch what they do. And, they try to put them at odds against each other. I mean, they win the championship, and the fight is who should get the MVP. I mean, and then he gets there and say, this both of ours. I mean, he could have said it no better. So that shows right there alone how those two guys work together.
And they'll, be together for a long time now. Now, I mean, I know horse before the carriage, but, it looks like they're going to be together for a long time. They have a ton of playoff experience now. Tatum just broke Kobe's record for points in the playoffs.
Who does that? Who breaks
26? I think.
Who breaks his records? Nobody breaks his record, so that has to be a first.
It's almost like a sneak. It's almost like these guys snuck up on everybody. They've always been there the last several years.
They
putting
put the
up
work
stats.
in. They've put the work in. I mean,
and now it's culminated.
You put the work in. It's like anything else. If you work hard, I mean, those two guys. I mean, I've heard stories. They put the work in. I mean, it's elite guys in the NBA, and it's not just because they were talented. Because a lot of guys are talented, but it's the ones that go above and beyond. The Kobes. I mean, I can go on, but you have to put that work in. It's not going to happen right away, but over time, you'll start to see it. And those guys have, since they got to Boston, I mean, they were babies, and they've just progressed into champions now.
I saw it firsthand, the hatred for Kyrie.
Number 77, Luka Dončić.
Luka is the slowest human ever.
It's real. Booze loudest for him.
Yeah.
F Kyrie chants outside the arena before and after the game. The one thing I will say about Kyrie, though, huge professional, especially at the end of the game. I thought he was the way that he handled himself in the press conference and the way also on the court, giving respect to his former players on the Celtics and his being that leader on his current team as well, trying to be the pick-me-up. And I love what he said in the press conference about this is a learning experience. We go through this together. It's just going to make us better together. What did you think about his whole mindset, how he handled himself?
He's a champion, too. I mean, he's a leader. I mean, he's been through a lot. I mean, him losing, I mean, I know he wanted to win the championship, but showing his professionalism going, I think I read that he said he wanted to go show them appreciation for their journey and how they made it to the finals and how they got there. Doesn't shy away from anything. I mean, he knows what comes with it. He's almost like the villain, but I think he's changed that because he came back. He had a great year. And when he goes to Boston, I think for the rest of his career, it's not going to be an easy road, and I think he knows that now. He has to take that, embrace it. It has to be fun for him. If I'm him, I'm going to Boston, and I know it's going to be a dogfight on the court and in the stand.
He's 1-14 since he stomped on Lucky, I think is what they say.
Stomped on Lucky. I mean, you shouldn't have stomped on Lucky. I always joke and say that. But no, I mean, you're playing against the team and the crowd there extra whenever you go. So
there's a video that's gone viral. It's a WWE video game, but they created all the Celtics and Mavs players. and it's basically the Celtics whooping the Mavs' ass, right? But the best part is the end. They got a character that looks just like Lucky,
and it's
he's stomping the shit out of Kyrie.
Stomping him out.
Yeah, we'll find the video. But I was impressed with Kyrie. I thought he really handled himself well. Wasn't his best game, obviously, but just a good leader. Definitely, you saw the leadership at the end.
Great leader. I think you'll see the Mavs back again. They're not going to go away. The Celtics were just a better team in this series. I mean, they showed it all the way around the board. I mean, Kyrie and Luka, two of the great players in the NBA, but individual players. But Boston showed they were a better team.
Somebody we haven't talked about yet, Derek White. What did you think about his performance?
Another unsung hero. I mean, he knocked his teeth out.
The
guy knocked his teeth out. I mean, he surprised me because most guys would have got hit in the mouth and wouldn't have came back in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but for him to get up, I think he went 3 for 3 after he knocked his teeth out. But once again, he's one of those guys, doesn't care. He's going to come out and give you 110%. Every single night on both ends of the floor. Doesn't care if he gets the points or the recognition. He's like a young Drew Holiday. Those are the guys that go in and do the dirty work. They're not going to get, the media is not going to cover what they do, but what they do for a team, it's no stat for it. I don't think it's a stat.
Joe Mazzulla, youngest coach to win a championship since, do you remember who?
Nope.
Bill Russell. What are the odds of that, right? What can you say about the way he handled and coached versus kid?
I think
you got a veteran player versus.
Well, I don't think that really matters, veteran player versus. I just think it was the makeup of the teams. I think Boston, they played better together, and it was hard for Dallas to match up, especially when they slowed the ball down, executed their offense. Eastern Conference, Western Conference is a difference. In the West, there's no defense. If you, like I said, Game 4, if you look at Game 4, Dallas did so well in that game because it was almost like a Western Conference game. The rest of the games were Eastern Conference games. So, you're going to get more slow down, methodical basketball, run your plays in the Eastern Conference. West, we're just going to get up and down and outscore you. But if you're playing against a team that plays defense, that's going to be hard to do if you don't play any defense.
Well, and Dallas didn't really help themselves either. They gave away points, only 53% from the free throw line. I noticed, in the moment, they were missing a ton of free throws.
Oh, yeah. That's in the playoffs and in the finals, that's one thing that you have to capitalize on. The free throws. Nothing's free. A free throw isn't even free. You got to get fouled to get there, but you still got to make it. And if you don't make those free throws, those points add up at the end of the game.
Yeah, we mentioned Bill Russell, youngest coach to win it since then.
Right.
Talking about setting the stage and how Game 4 in Boston, they could have finished it out in Dallas. A lot of people thought they would have. But the significance of the day, you have literally the date 6/17.
Explain that to me. You
2024.
Explain it to me again.
So if you don't know about Boston, the area code in Boston is 617. Okay.
Right.
So you have a 617 area code, and the date June 17th. We talked about it earlier. The last time Celtics won, June 17th, 2008. So people already buzz and they're like, oh shit, it's the last time the Celtics won was June 17th. This is a sign. And the area code 617. This has to be the day today, right? Now, a little fun fact for you, though, Keith. We're actually 2-2 on this day in the finals.
2-2.
In the last 37 years. Because in 2010, when we played Kobe,
right,
and he beat us, that was on June 17th. The Lakers beat the Celtics in 2010 to get their number 17 or 16. Yes, I think that was their 16 because they won in 2020,
in the
right?
bubble. They won in the bubble, yeah.
So, which was a fake year. We don't count that. But so you have so you have 4 Celtics legends that have passed away since the last championship, right? And actually, you had Bob Cousy, who he hasn't passed away, but he was like, I need you guys to win because this is probably like one of the last, like 95, right? So he's like, I need the Celtics to win this one, right? But anyway, you had Bill Russell pass away, number 6. You have John Havlicek pass away, number 17. You had Sam Jones pass away. He was number 24. So you have the date right there. 6/17/24 right there, right?
Wow.
And you want right before the finals started, you had Bill Walton pass away, number 5. Game 5.
Game 5. Yeah, you got all your numbers in order.
You got all your numbers in order. It's the area code 617 day, right? It just truly was.
How did you put all that together?
I saw it on the internet. Yeah, and I fact checked. I mean,
Right.
it's not wrong.
It's
It's
not.
100% everything I just said there.
Did your research?
So it just was kind of, destiny. Some
Right.
people argue.
So I got a question for you too.
Yeah.
So when you win the championship, how the hell do you get out of that arena? Like with all this going on outside, that's all going on. How do you get out of the arena?
It's a little slower than usual, right? But they also don't kick you out as fast as they usually would either, right? So like I was in the balcony, so no doubt
You got some
in my
great photos.
I
hope we
love
can
being
show
in the
some. I hope we
balcony
can
because of the photos.
You got
actually.
some great photos.
Yeah, and to be able to see all the banners, to be able to see the full arena. If you're down below, you can't see the full.
Oh, Drew, you wouldn't have saw
arena.
over the players.
What's that?
You wouldn't have saw over the players, Drew. You wouldn't. So you wouldn't. Great seats for you.
There was
Great
good seats.
Great seats.
And like I said, just the experience of being able to see a championship won from the last seconds when it counted down, to see the graphics change on the big screen. NBA champions, to hear it come over the PA by the PA announcer. The Boston Celtics are your 2024 NBA World Champions. I get a little choked up just thinking about it, because it's just like it was an electricity. There's no other way to describe it. If you ever have an opportunity, and you know what, financially it probably wasn't the smartest thing for me to do, right? But when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and you just got to go with your gut sometimes. And I said, screw it, we're gonna go for it.
16-hour finals trip. It took you flew from South Florida to Boston.
Yeah, I got in at about 9. No, got in at 3:00 on Monday afternoon, and game started at 8:30. First flight out of Boston, 6 a.m. Back to South Florida at 9:00. Nice. My voice has been restored somewhat, not 100%, but feeling much better, because it was gone. Back in sunny South Florida, voice is gone. Celtics, 18. I think I dislocated my thumb slapping fives with somebody at the arena.
Wow.
My thumb has been messed up. So
well,
these are the slings and arrows that I gladly take for Celtics fans yielding this championship.
So before I forget, I lost a bet, of course.
Well, we do have to talk about that, yes. So, I'm excited about this podcast. I think it's going to work well and stuff, but do you think we can just take a look at something first before we get started?
Sure, why not?
You want to make sure we're good on it?
Let's do it.
All right, so you might remember this. Let's just roll the tape and see what. Oh my God! Look at that!
Hey, stop that. Rewind that. See, I'm from old school. We were taught no 3-point plays. You wrap a guy up. But stop right there. All right? So if you watch how I'm wrapping him and I'm grabbing his wrist, it's so that he can't finish the 3-point play, but I'm trying to hold him up so he doesn't fall and I don't hurt him. So this play here was
you're trying to protect him.
I was trying to protect him.
Trying to help him.
That's my boy. Barbosa's my boy. So I was trying to hold him up, but it looks like I tried to choke him. So that's how.
Well, I think, that's a choke. That's.
He gets a good. Look, he actor.
Look at Paul Pierce is devastated.
That's my guy. Bass is my guy.
He realizes he got caught. Doc devastated. And now you can see Keith
Nobody's mad.
Look how sad he is. He's so sad.
Nobody's mad or trying to fight. This is a basketball play. This is a basketball play.
Now,
it's hard.
what I want people to pay attention to, look at Barbosa's face. That is...
He gets an
he's
acting.
out.
He's
He just
acting,
knocked
bro.
out.
Bro, he's acting. This is the old NBA.
Yo,
this
you
isn't
put
the new
him
NBA.
in the Cobra Clutch. That's the Cobra Clutch Sergeant Slaughter would do.
Listen, look at this. Look at this. This is what this should be right here. No way is that.
Well, that's how serious it was. They actually had to debate. Is it a flagrant 1? Is it a flagrant 2? You know?
This coming from a Boston fan, y'all do know that. And this was years ago, so I'll just leave it at that.
Did you apologize?
Nope.
Will you apologize?
If the Boston Celtics win the finals,
So if the Celtics win the finals,
I'll call Leandro Barbosa and apologize.
will you apologize to the city of Boston also?
Yeah, I sure will.
The mayor at the time, Mayor Menino?
Whatever you need, brother.
Rest in peace. He's not in... Okay.
We got a bet.
All right, there we go. There we go.
So I have to apologize to Leandro Barbosa, which is my homeboy. I'm sorry if, Drew thinks I choked you, but I didn't. We talked about this already. You're my boy for life. So I apologize because I had to. And who else I was supposed to apologize to?
The city of Boston.
I apologize to the city of Boston, and congratulations on you guys' new 2024 championship.
I will say this. There was this tweet that I saw after the championship, and it was and they had literally they were like, this championship is for, and they started naming all the Celtics from the last championship team to now, right? And all the players that weren't there anymore. And in that tweet, you were the last player in that tweet.
I was the last player.
It said, this is for Keith Bogans, too. Swear to God. I'm going to find it and show it to you.
I got to see that one, but
I swear to God.
I definitely got to see that one.
Well, and a lot of people talking about the trade. I mean, that's been brought up a million times on ESPN ever since this finals kind of wrapped up. What do we talk about in episode 1 there?
Right.
Game 1, the trade that brought Tatum and Brown, your NBA Finals MVP and co-MVP practically. The trade that brought those guys to Boston, Keith was there, and I had sent you a tweet. Those bastards at Barstool Sports, they were trying to clown after Game 4.
They definitely
and they
did.
tried to say that this is what the Celtics look like after Game 4. We'll show you the picture, but not cool.
It's all good.
It's all good though. It's all
good.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. I mean, just an amazing night in the city of Boston. A league record 18 championship. It was the longest championship, second longest championship drought that the city of Boston has had, 5.5 years.
Y'all needed that one. Y'all needed that one real bad.
So they got it. But I guess looking forward to next year. The early favorites, obviously, are Boston to repeat. Do you see that happening, or do you see anybody that can take them out?
No. You don't know. We got a long summer to get through. We got a draft to get through. We can't talk about repeating already, Drew. We got to get at least to preseason next year.
People need to put their bets in. No, this is when they make their money.
Well, tell them good luck. I'll wait to preseason next year, and then I'll see how the team forms. Yeah.
All right, well, we got the draft coming up. Free agency now. That was one of the changes. They can start making
right away
announcements for free agency. Anything yet?
Deals are already being made already. Yeah, I saw a few early. I don't know exactly which ones, but I see a few. I've seen a few already today.
So it's time to wheel and deal already. We're gonna have the draft coming up in a couple weeks. I think 2 weeks now. I think it's 1 or 2 weeks away.
2 weeks,
So we'll do a draft episode, a little draft special there.
We got the big 3 coming up too.
We got the big 3 coming up this coming weekend, right? So we'll have some footage on that. Talk about the experience with the big 3.
Yeah.
Lots is happening with the WNBA as well. Caitlin Clark keeps getting hammered out there.
Oh man, I think she's going to continue to get hammered. It's just part of the game right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. The more we talk about it, I think the more she's going to get hammered.
Well, it's putting eyeballs on the league.
When you're as good as she is, I think it's supposed to happen. I mean, she's only going to get better. I think it's going to be good for her in the long run.
I don't disagree. So, lots happening there. This is going to conclude our recap of the NBA Finals. What a momentous first couple episodes for the podcast. get to conclude with some exclusive correspondent footage live from Game 5. Who would have thought that? Especially last week when we were recording.
A real Boston fan in the building.
You know, so congratulations again to the 18 times.
Congratulations to the Boston Celtics and the fans once again.
And Mayor Menino, rest in peace, who was mayor when Keith did his foul on Leandro Barbosa. So apologize to his family.
Yeah, we apologize to the whole city and everybody.
All right, so don't forget, we have our hashtag AskBogey, hashtag AskBogey. If you want to send a question in, we got our website, bogansbreakdown.com. We're all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube. It's at Bogans Breakdown. So make sure to give us a follow and like. Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, anywhere podcasts are available. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Hit the like button. Please share it. Do all that fun stuff for us. It really helps the channel out. Keith, any final comments?
No, just see y'all next time, and stay tuned. We got a lot more coming.
Bam, and I'll retire the green now and be a unbiased journalist for the next.
Good.
Until the next NBA playoffs,
Good.
We'll say, okay?
Absolutely,
all
I agree.
Well, we won't talk no more Boston talk, all right?
I agree. You guys for the rest of the week. I mean, for the rest of the month. Y'all won the championship.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, we'll still have to cover the parade.
Yeah, you got to get the parade.
You know,
are you going back for the footage, or are you going to go back?
No.
You sure?
No.
Another 16 hours for the parade?
Yeah, no.
All right,
It's
cool.
all set.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. All right, peace.
Peace.